Today's matchup. Bunny. Solar. Dark. ByuN.
Welcome back to the GSL. We're going to be going on to the losers match now to discover which player is going to be knocked out of the round of 8. And I got to point this out, like, it's going to be going, the winner of this goes up against Dark. So, like, it's actually a lot like the group we had on Tuesday, Group A, where it's like, man, the winner of this has to go up against Morrow. Kind of a mirrored situation here. Not that Solar and ByuN aren't bad, but obviously Dark, I think, just on another level.
Yeah, Kira and Bunny both stepping up so far here in this GSL. A lot of Terrans stepping up in general, which is good to see. Happy for Kira and Bunny. I mean, these are guys that have been quietly improving for a long time, and I feel like they don't quite get the attention, or not the attention, the recognition that they deserve for their scale as Terrans, because they are a little bit overshadowed by players like Maru and, you know, ByuN. Everybody loves ByuN. He's a fan favorite. He has a lot of really creative builds.
How can you not? Yeah. ByuN, he's a super charismatic guy.
Yeah, charismatic. I mean, if you watch him micro also, like, he has like a certain flashiness to the way that he plays.
He's got his own style as well. But, you know, let's see how he can do here today. I mean, again, you know, he had some pretty incredible stuff he pulled off against Maru, but Solar kind of a different beast here. Solar definitely looking weaker than Dark, though. This should be a close one. We're going to go to Royal Blood now to start this best of 3 off. Again, the loser of this series, they're out of Season 1 of the GSL.
Onside Gaming. Solar. Shopify Rebellion. ByuN.
I saw the SCV move out, started the game.
Oh, yeah,
and I got excited, and then I was like, wait, no, this is ByuN playing.
He's going to do what Buddy did! Oh!
I was like, no way, this is ByuN. He likes to wall on at the natural, on the low ground. I feel like if I played Terran, this is the way that I would play TBZ. I love my walls, man. I love walls. That's what I do.
I like having some kind of active play early on, you know, that I can really get in there and try to get something done. It's cool to see ByuN try this style out. I do feel like he kind of used up a lot of his great ideas against Dark, though.
Maybe
early on.
It could be. It's tough for him now, too, because
he did the one normal build where he comes out and then he plays kind of an expand push play. And then he did the other one where he's like, I have 4 barracks. But ran under an Overlord.
It's difficult for him as well because say he even wins here against Solar, he has to go against Dark again. And then suddenly that's the 3rd TBC that he's played today. And you're in a difficult position because you've shown so many builds already, right? So for ByuN, I'm hoping that he's able to mix it up a little bit over the coming games.
Oh, Roach Warren right away.
Ooh, yeah, it's actually Solar that's mixing it up.
Well,
good catch.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been watching so much of ByuN's games, just from ByuN's perspective.
I do the same thing.
I guess because, you know, there's always a little bit of intrigue around kind of a novel. You have one player coming out here with this novel build. Everybody else is like, these are airplanes, and he's like, I'm a hot air balloon. But is it good? Is this good? Is it good? It's not going to scout it. He didn't see it.
But did you see the second gas? I think he might have missed that as well.
I think I should have been looking for that. That's probably what's going to be the giveaway. Hold on.
I think the observer would have highlighted it if he did.
Well, he's going to see this.
Yeah, he's coming into the main base now. He's suspicious of something, I think.
Well, I think you see the second gas.
Oh, he's going to. Yeah, he confirms it.
Done.
All right. So remember we were casting, I think it was Dark versus ByuN, and we were theory crafting what Dark might throw his way because Dark is the kind of player that would see someone just consistently always build this low ground wall in and then just come in with an all-in play, and it didn't happen. But looks like Dark is going to be able, well, not Dark, excuse me, Solar is going to be doing that for us here on Royal Blood. Ravager's already morphing in. And keep in mind, Terran spawning all the way down here, those add-ons very exposed, so Concussive Shell going to be researched right away here.
Yeah, this is especially strong against this. But it's easy to forget, but Reapers can actually do this to Roaches.
Yeah, there is that bunker outside the 2 barracks. We saw this earlier in the GSL from ByuN before when he was able to hold off an all-in, although that was, I think, a proxy hatchery.
How many Ravagers do you need to one-shot a bunker?
Okay,
I don't
400, it went down to 340. Is it really 60 damage? That's a lot. So 400 divided by 6. I'm not a mathematician. It's like, what, 12? I don't know. It's like
100, who knows? Like
6 or 7 or something. It's a lot. I
Yeah.
think you're more likely to burst it down and then just kind of throw everything at it. As we have a lot of SCVs falling already. That is going to be the bunker going down.
Hold on. There are more Marauders, I almost said hatchery, coming out.
Yeah, I think
The thing
ByuN
is-
might have done this with a concussive shell. I mean, I don't... The bios for Solar so far, they have been really good, but both Reapers are still alive. Marines are being produced 5 at a time right now. So
Yeah.
although
He
Lings
needs
are
the
coming...
Lings.
Yeah.
If the Lings can meet up with this,
I think he
he's-
needs a Ling surround, and then he needs to bio the bio. Otherwise, it's going to be a really tough situation. I mean, even engagements like this,
Oh, he's so weak with some of these Ravagers. It makes me so nervous.
dude, ByuN is doing a perfect job of just dodging every single bile that comes down. And
Well-
concussive shell also doing work. I think he's done it.
He wants to get that tech lab so badly. This Ravager on the outside is finally picked off, dropping the number down to 3.
All right, Link's coming in again. Bile's trying to connect, but so far haven't been able to. And Army Supply is still in favor here of ByuN.
The thing is, if he can overpower this position, this is the infrastructure.
Yeah. No,
So it's like, it looks like, a lot of times we see fights like this, but it's not with barracks right here.
yeah, if this army falls for ByuN, it's basically game. And I see Solar now pulling a little bit more Zerglings. I think he is trying to set up to get enough of them that they will just stay alive for a big bile in the center of a surround. But I'm not sure if Bunny's going to be able... I'm not sure if Bunny's going to give him that opportunity. Keep in
The
mind...
Reaper's going to spot this. So
Yeah.
you see when you see those Lings, you're like, oh, you're not done.
Yeah, you are not
Okay.
done. It's still 19 drones now for Solar.
But, I mean, God, Terran has so much. I guess there's no Medivacs either.
No, there's
So
no
it's
healing.
like, yeah, so it's like whatever damage you get.
All right, surround coming in. Bile going to try and come through
God,
the
here
center.
we go!
Oh, the splits, though, just not enough. ByuN going to be able to take game number 1.
There it is.
Nice defense there, man. I mean, he has shown that it's very difficult to actually break this position. I mean, he's so good at just controlling these units. He knows the exact response. He was very active with his Reaper scouting. He identified the rush as soon as he needed to, and then just the response from there was perfect. He throws down the bunker. He pulls just enough SCVs to buy himself time to get the bio ball that he needs. Behind it, producing Marines 5 at a time, continuously building Marauders. I mean, he cut the orbital command because he knows that he just needs every mineral possible to go into army, and he's able to hold it. But I gotta say, that's easier. It looks easier than it actually is. I mean, if one of those trades went worse for ByuN, I mean, his infrastructure, as you said, it's all right there at the front.
Yeah, if you can just get to the point, and you saw him going for the tech lab and then the reactor. He's trying to like just curb the amount of units and what kind of units can come out, and then he's hoping to snowball it. And when he got the Lings to surround that, he's trying to fire right into the middle of it, and just obliterate it entirely. But he didn't have enough. And fun start there. Clearly, we're not going to have a Roach push against double racks wall in there at the entrance again. It's clearly ByuN would almost wish for you to do that than have to play a normal game.
I believe it was ByuN that held off that proxy hatchery Roach Ravager all in with like a queen or something also, I think on day 1.
Yeah,
My memory's a
who was
little
that
foggy.
against?
I can't remember exactly, but
Yeah, it's too many
so
games.
far ByuN, he's 2-0 in defending this. So clearly the double wall in.
Clearly, that's not a way you're going to beat it.
Yeah.
It's just trying to rush the wall in. We're going to go to Gresvin for map number 2. Solar versus ByuN. ByuN with a 1-0 lead. Solar facing elimination here as these two duke it out for the right to fight against Dark for that final spot in the round of 8.
Onside Gaming, Solar.
Such a good round. Oh, what's in the box? Right side,
There's a new
Korea
package
pose.
there. Maybe more stuff for his shelves.
Another trophy.
Yeah.
Shopify
Like, oh, he
Rebellion.
orders his trophies. That's why. That's what I should do. I should just order a bunch of trophies instead of winning them. That's a way more work to win them. So here we go. The depot is going to be down here at the wall. Solar thinking he maybe had the antidote to the build order from ByuN.
This is different.
Hold on. Hold your horses.
This is different. Where are you going, SCV?
So he's going to make another barracks over here?
I think he might be.
Or does he make just like a
Is this
factory?
gonna be? Is this gonna be 3 racks? Are we gonna have one barracks proxied here, and then we go double racks back in the natural? So it looks like.
You know what? Actually,
I'm just wondering. It might not be.
well, we'll see in a second, because if it is, I mean, you have to make sure that you have what looks like at least the appearance of the old build. But it could also just be that you want the second Reaper to just get there a little bit sooner, because there's what ByuN did where he had success with this is he gets 3 Reapers in a moment where you only are ready for 2. And so the 3 kind of, assuming the Zerg is trying to play like a really minimalist defense game, which is basically what everybody tries to do now. You don't want to try to over-defend anything early on or your build's messed up. So maybe the idea with this is that the second Reaper actually gets there around the same time the first Reaper gets there.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
And then maybe you could start to snowball the damage there.
Yeah, you thought that second and third Reaper were fast. Now they're even faster to your base, man.
And it still allows you to make a command center and do everything else the same. So,
cool.
You know, ByuN's really done a deep dive here. And by the way, this could go up to 5 Reapers.
That is possible. We'll see. Command center now going down. Oh, man.
So it's not going to be this Reaper. It's when these two come up here together.
Yeah.
Where you go, wait, what? What is happening?
Oh, body blocked a little bit there by the drone, so one's going to fall already. He might get a second one right now.
No,
barely clutch.
doesn't. Oh, no. Miscontrols and loses that Reaper.
Yeah, surround gets off, and it's one Reaper going down. And we don't have the production tab right now, but it does look like he cut Reapers. Yeah, just one more in production. A third barracks underway. Second gas being taken. Oh, jeez. Close. Only 11 HP on that Reaper, getting dangerously low. And yeah, Solar, he's wise to this. He moves the Lings down here, and I think he spots this barrack, so he knows exactly what's going on.
Well, these Reapers would like to get some more damage done. I feel like you really can't lose a single Reaper when you do this.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the power out of the push. I mean, having one more Reaper is just significantly more damage. And like, see how many Lings are falling right now? Just imagine this if he had one more Reaper. It would be doing so much more work. As all 3 of these are going to survive for now. Queen will be able to finish that low HP one off. Actually, the Ling picking up the kill. Is now we're going to go into drones. And I would say overall, like, this hasn't really paid off for ByuN too much, but I mean, keep in mind, he did force a lot of Lings, so he actually is ahead in workers right now with that second orbital finishing up. So there is some gain here, but overall, I do think I like Solar's position a little bit more. But he only lost, like, what, 1 drone during all of that? Maybe 2?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is really, you know, it was a cool idea and we were pretty hyped about it, but honestly, this is pretty good for Zerg right now.
Yeah, I think it all comes back to that surround on that that one Reaper.
Yeah, I think it was cool. Like, when I saw the first drone die, I thought, oh boy, he's doing it. But, you know, how much better is it to have your barracks back at home? And you know, is it worth it, 1 drone? You know, you killed 1 drone, you lost 1 Reaper. Obviously, it's not like you meant to do that, but that's where we're at right now. So I got to call this as, you know, being pretty bad for the time being here for ByuN. But I don't really know how these guys size up in mid-game in general. You know, I worry more about, you know, when you see players like Maro or Dark with that because they play so perfectly, or now Bunny and Cure. Solar, I'm not so sure. I mean, I think Solar had a pretty shoddy endgame in the TVZ that we already casted.
It's not as solid, especially in a group with Dark. He kind of does get overshadowed quite a bit, as almost anybody would. But yeah, we'll see if he can hang with ByuN. I think at least with the advantage that it feels like he's gotten so far in this game, I would imagine that he's able to kind of bounce off that like a trampoline and just do exactly what he wants to do in the mid game, play it the way that he wants to play it now, throwing down that fourth hatchery. The creep spread is already starting to look pretty good. Terran only just now getting on the field with, I think, some Hellions. I actually thought this Reaper, I go crazy sometimes. I think like Reaper jetpacks are like the flames like a Hellion driving around.
Yeah. It's like it's shooting from behind. Right. He's got the two medevacs and the Marines. That squad's going to start to roam. The fourth base is going to be taken in the bottom.
No third CC for ByuN.
No, he does like to do this sometimes where he's just going to lean into the push, lean into the aggression. And it might work. I mean, he's exceptional with micro.
We've seen it here on Gresvin time and time again, though, and it can be kind of tough to breach this position specifically. See what ByuN's able to get done. Some links falling. Not too many Marines going down just yet. And Solar will eventually converge. 2 Marines in total go down.
Now, he's being smart in that he's not rallying everything out there. He's letting his units accumulate and trying to get done what he can do with this small set of units right now. So that's going to include killing off creep trimmers.
I'm doing it to you now.
I got Elmer Fudd voice right now. But when it's time, he's going to then send the next wave to merge up with the first. There's a third command center started, so he will be expanding again as well.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a 2-base all-in. This is just him putting a modest amount of pressure without overextending.
Yeah, a little bit more pressure than you would normally get in the TVZ, which is right up ByuN's alley. I mean, he likes to play these high-octane, fast-paced, very aggressive Terran versus games, and he's setting up for a nice timing right now. He only went for 1 engineering bay as opposed to 2, so he's going to have a lot more units, and he does have +1 infantry weapons as a result of that, finishing right at the same time here as combat shield. So this is going to be some pretty powerful infantry. Centrifugal hooks, Baneling speed, only about halfway done here, and there are a lot of Banelings out. So there is a small window here, waiting for speed to finish, where ByuN might be able to take some good trades. Oh,
So
that's a lot of Lings, actually.
This is a pretty ambitious counter, but there's nothing that he can really counter into. It's a wall. Meanwhile, these tanks are very well set up. It looks like actually, Solar's going to try to come in here with a bit of a sandwich.
Yeah, this could be really good for Solar. I think at least he's going to be able to clean up the siege tanks here, but ByuN is wise to it.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty big. There's even those 2 Banes. You just need like 1 or 2 Banes to connect. The problem is now, I think this has been out here for too long.
Yeah, it's getting dangerous. And behind all of this, by the way, Solar hasn't been building drones at all. He's been sitting at 60. He's been pumping nothing but Banelings and Lings. He's still doing that. +1 Carapace now about to finish. So I feel like once this third base gets taken here, or once ByuN tries to join his forces in the middle of the map, that's when Solar is going to try and strike, and he's going to do it with a ton of Lings and Banes. 100 Lings in total on the field right now as ByuN sets up here at this third base. You got to think that some big flank's going to be coming in. All right, here we go. Look at this massive surround. These Marines are going to have to pick up and get out of here as soon as they possibly can. The tanks are going to get the best shots they can before they fall. But that's a lot of Marines going down, Tasteless.
Yeah, that was rough. Third base lands. There's still infantry in the north. There's also infantry in the south here. The creep spreads, it was good, but it was like 1 creep tumor for that whole area. So, like, he can make this dissipate pretty quickly, and in fact, he's going to try to push in and make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and ByuN's been playing nice and conservatively here. There was an opportunity where if he overextended, Solar with that massive flood of Ling and Banelings would have been able to overwhelm an army and take a decisive lead, but instead it feels like ByuN's just been navigating this very well now, picking off some drones here in the third base expansion, before dropping up here in the main. And there's a lot of free damage that's coming in. Very few Marines are going down. He's picked off drones. He's picking off Banelings. He's picking off Lings. I mean, this is what ByuN does best, is get maximum value out of all of his units all of the time. And, when all is said is done, ByuN right now up over 10 supply in army. If he can get into a good entrenched position outside the third or the fourth base, that could be a troublesome spot to break here for Solar, who's only just now mixing in Hydralisks. I mean, for him, it's almost pure Ling Bane. The tech really isn't filling out just yet for him.
Another small push. Going to be pretty hard for Zerg to actually expand in here if Terran can hold this little foothold that they have just outside of here. I'm seeing 4 tanks total, although I don't know why one. Oh, I see. He's going to have like a really wide reach here.
Yeah, this is a nice setup, and also keep in mind, this is not a Ravager style that we've been seeing a lot today. This is just pure Ling Baneling, so...
Yeah, kind of a classic TVZ style.
Yeah, so it's not going to be ByuNs that are taking out those siege tanks. Those siege tanks are going to be a lot harder to actually remove from this position, and so that hatchery going to go down, and ByuN now going to pivot all the way down here to the bottom left, and that is so many reinforcements. I feel like we might be reaching the point where if these tanks siege up, especially with some Liberators covering them, I don't know if Solar is going to be able to break it. I mean, the creep spread also just simply isn't there. The creep spread is so far away from the siege tanks right now that these Banelings off creep are going to be moving very slowly into this position. Solar's going to do everything he can to try to break it down, but the siege tank shots are huge. Trying to get us around on the Marines, but they are able to scurry away. Now kiting backwards is ByuN. A reasonably good trade here for Solar, considering that this went off creep, and he will be able to break that position. But man, I was scared for him there.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
I mean, if ByuN had gotten 10 or 15 more seconds to join all of his forces right there at those siege tanks, I don't think that attack would have worked, but Solar just picking exactly the right timing, not only before those forces converge by the 4th base, but also right before infantry weapons level 2 completes. So clutch timing there from Solar, good star sense, knowing exactly when to strike. And that's a little bit of the wind out of the sails here for the Terran player. And so Solar now powering up, going to be going into Hive Tech and a Lurker Den.
So ByuN's going to look for another fight. But, you know, it's kind of funny. We have, like, the original OG style from Solar being used here. He's abandoned, like, trying to go Roach Ravager or make that work. Maybe that was, you know, a little bit of Dark's influence on him and kind of the meta right now. And he's going to go with kind of the classic Ling Hydra Bane, but you really got to have enough every time you attack him when you do that.
And really scary moment here.
ByuN is taking these small wins. I mean, he is picking these bases off. The counterattacks are good, but you know, I only see one Bane with this. Well, this actually might work because that one Bane's going to connect. Wait for it.
Yeah, Marines get cleaned up. Actually, didn't even need
Link's
the Bane.
got this,
there we
dude.
go.
They're actually protecting the Bane.
The Baneling connection was like one Marine left.
That's the hostage. Like, don't let them get the hostage.
Ooh, Liberator denying some mining over there at the 3rd base. Meanwhile, more Marines coming here into the main will stim up, and that's going to be more drones falling here. Extractor also getting taken out as ByuN, it feels like he's everywhere right now. He's also pushing over here at the triangle 3rd. Just the attacks continuing to mount. He wants to get this hatchery down. I don't think he's going to have the space to do it. I even forgot those siege tanks were there.
Yeah.
Just kind of left.
I just kind of watched too. I'm like, oh, they're still around. All right.
Yeah.
So ByuN is just now getting his 4th base set up. So he's actually been in this game for very long without really having a 4th. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it does starting to really feel like Solar's very much in control of this. You know, once you stop all these attacks, it's eventually going to be the Zerg's turn to try to come in and attack.
Especially with the Adrenal Glands going to be finishing up very soon if it's not done already here with Hive Tech. You know, in full swing for Solar, and you know, ByuN is one of those players that he likes to take these trades with Marine Tank more often than not. He's not really one of those, you know, Maru types that will gun to build up to 20+ goats every single game if you're not in like the best position.
Yeah.
So I expect him to try to stay on this composition and not really play for that supreme late game that we saw earlier against Dark. But the question that I have now is whether he's actually going to be able to make that work against the Zerg, who now is adding in Lurkers, has a good number of Vipers. Adrenal Glands is going to be done. You know that 3-3 is also underway. And Solar just firing on all cylinders right now. The only thing that Bunny's really been, or not Bunny, excuse me, ByuN has been able to get in his favor is he's been able to deny these bases repeatedly, but Solar just keeps expanding on whichever side of the map ByuN is not attacking, right? So yeah. Economically, the disruption, it's not that significant. I think we're going to need some really phenomenal control from ByuN if he's going to pull Solar apart at this point.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit worried here. You know, we're now down to the moment where there's Lurkers out. The Zerg is going to start banking a lot of minerals and gas. Terran's going to come across the map and fight again. You know, I think this is almost one of those moments where we saw, like, he hit the button which grabs all units and just went up there to try to get his man, which is exactly what you want them to do, so you can get kills like this. He is continuing to kill these hatcheries. You remember that, you know, this game can be won by just the Terran continuing to mine and just hit different little locations. And the Zerg eventually, you know, has to expand towards the top center spot and the bottom center spot for their side.
This army for ByuN, though, is almost entirely Marines. We have triple-digit Marines right now on the field. 102 in total, only 4 siege tanks. The rest of this is just SCVs and medevacs, so the splitting is going to be critical here. And all right, the engagement now coming in on the 4th base. Lurkers are sieged up. He is going to be able to take out the hatchery, though, I think, and also hitting the main and hitting the 3rd.
What?
ByuN is everywhere with 100 Marines. He's just flooding across the map.
He's moving, Solar's moving his entire army with just like all together. And so whenever you start to get drops and little pushes like this, they can't keep up. And so it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 bases that are being made. Well, the 4th one's being made is what I'm trying to say. And the 3rd base was almost picked off.
Yeah, it's at like 10% HP right now.
Yeah.
I honestly think
maybe
if
less.
ByuN,
Yeah.
I think if ByuN was able to take out that hatchery, oh, it just went down.
Something killed it.
Yeah, something did kill it. I'm guessing that, you know, maybe we had some sim units just run in there and get the finishing blows, or, oh God, was it that Viper? I hope it wasn't that Viper.
That would be the funniest. I doubt it. I doubt it.
It probably wasn't. It probably wasn't, but ByuN just with some tremendous play. I mean, Marines attacking from all sides. The Baneling Nest is going to go down, even engaging into Lurkers here. And Solar is basically on a 2-base economy just now, starting to saturate this base here at the 12 o'clock position. And I'm kind of at a loss for words. It feels like ByuN, with what has been almost a pure Marine army, has been able to somehow pick apart this incredible Zerg machine.
I mean, it really is inspirational. But I do think I'm right about him having like his whole army on one key.
It does feel like
if you get good enough, you can't actually just move around with everything bound together, because otherwise small little drops and harasses are going to get you.
Those blinding clouds really clutch there, as those 2 siege tanks could have had some tremendous shots on those Banes if the blinding cloud didn't go through. And Marine's going to join in.
The thing is, there's so many Banes, but the tanks are going to be what you need to have. Those tank shots can thin out those Bane numbers, and I think Solar taking a page from history just today, realizing, well, I can't actually overextend with these Banes because that's how I lost the last game. But Solar is starting to really hurt.
Yeah.
He's kind of become restricted to, his creep. It's just shored up to the very edges of his base.
I think we're basically in the death throes now for Solar.
I
That
agree.
3rd base, the triangle 3rd, it still hasn't been remade. So he's he's effectively on 1.5 mining bases, because the main is almost entirely mined out. The natural's halfway mined out.
He doesn't get that hatchery. He's like,
oh man,
the
Vipers! One gets picked off right there. There's only going to be 1 blinding cloud available here for Solar, as ByuN just continues to micro away off creep, and his economy is so overpowering right now. I mean, with pure Marine tank medevac, he just continues to make it work against Vipers and Liberators, Hydralisks, Lings, and Banelings. I mean, the army positioning has been so good. The movement's been so good here from ByuN. Solar trying what feels like a last-ditch effort here to try and breach this position.
This is over, man. That's it. GG.
Wow.
ByuN wins. So we're going to have ByuN versus Dark to close out the night.
What a win there from ByuN, man. I was so scared watching him just stick with Marines and siege tanks and medevacs throughout the entire game, as Solar, filled out his hive techs. He got 3-3, he got Adrenal Glands, he got those Vipers, he was adding in Hydralisks, he had good creep spread, he had so many bases. And then what felt like an almost one fell swoop, 100 Marines from 3 different locations. There was a drop in the main base, then he hit the 3rd base, and then he also hit the 4th base at the same time.
That's what I was going to bring up,
Everything. It was like a domino effect. Just everything fell apart there for Solar.
We just saw Solar try to move from one area with everything to the next, and it's like, it's too late now. Now you've lost control of the game. You got to make sure. It can be very tempting, especially in a chaotic game. All right, let's just grab any attacking unit or all attacking units and just start to hit everywhere. But that's when drops get you. You want to have some units that will never be hotkeyed, that are just there to take certain fights. You want to be able to grab a group of units, send them up to the drop, and then not have that same control group get pulled to the next spot. Short break. When we come back, the final match in the round of 8. Don't go anywhere.